So the real truth, and I have to be honest, I don't believe, like, I'm from the Bronx, and I'll tell you where I'm from, Latinos were rockers, black people were breakers. That was normal. In the 70s,
En los 70 los latinos eran rockers y los negros eran...
The Latinos don't have footwork. No footwork.
Los latinos no tienen footwork.
The black b-boys have the footwork.
Los b-boy negros tienen el footwork.
And together we mix the styles.
Y juntos mezclaron los estilos.
Yep, breaking and rocking together.
Breaking y rocking.
Rocksteady Crew is the hybrid, the mix.
Rocksteady Crew es como el híbrido.
There are 4 basic elements of breakdance: top rock, down rock, sometimes called footwork, power moves, and freezes. Top rock refers to a combination of steps performed while standing up, and is usually the sequence that starts a breakdance routine. Down rock refers to moves performed with hands and feet on the floor.
There were 2 teenage dancers who were members of the all-black Zulu Kings. One of those dancers was known as Beaver. Beaver innovated a sporadic style of footwork while his hands were on the ground. This footwork became the main foundation of their dance. The other dancer was known as Robbie Rob. He created the first chair freeze. This freeze was a pseudo headstand with the elbows tucked into the waist as the legs were crossed one over the other and elevated. What they started was a type of dance style that went down to the floor with footwork that became known as floor rocking and would finish with this unique chair freeze pose.
Right. I also want to give a shout out to Beaver from Bronx River.
Okay.
He was a couple of years younger than me, but this dude, he was electrifying as a b-boy.
Jazzy J was a breakdancer before he was a DJ.
Well, if y'all want to get an original Bronx River b-boys, let's get real gully with it.
DSC too.
Beaver, 4 b-boys that were considered like the #1 breakdancers, original breakdancers, never ever get credit. Beaver #1.
Yep.
Remus.
Yep.
God
Remus.
rest,
Wow.
#2. I'm talking about like I didn't really pay attention too much to what was going on, but when them dudes started doing their thing, I had to watch.
Yeah.
That struck me. Beaver and them, it was just the most craziest, exotic thing to see. Them doing backflips. These dudes wasn't just breakdancers. To me, they were gymnasts.
Yeah.
They were gymnasts.
Yeah.
So you hear it, let me tell you, they talk about Beaver, and he was Beaver because a lot of the cats who know the history, they think Beaver's the first person who started breakdancing and b-boying. He's a baby Zulu. He's under us.
Yeah, he's a baby Zulu. But let me tell you about him. He was a baby Zulu. He was maybe 5-6 years younger than we were. Yeah. But he was this young guy. Me being older, used to watch him dance and stole some of his moves because he used to do this helicopter move. And then we used to do the helicopter move. As we growing up, b-boying, but then he did it in reverse. One day I saw him do it in reverse
helicopters, yeah.
And I was like, wow. And I went home and tried it. Didn't work out.
Right.
I just kept going the conventional way.
What is a helicopter, like a backspin?
No,
what is that?
We can't do it now. But let's say you're down here and you have your leg out like this.
Right.
But I'm on the floor, right?
On your chest or your back?
No, the way I am right now, I'm like this.
Okay.
All right, but I'm sitting on the bench because I ain't trying to.
You're in the squat position.
I'm in the squat, and you swing your leg around.
Oh, okay.
And you swing it around. That's a helicopter. Beaver and us too, as Zulus, used to do it
the opposite way. And then we had one, me and Pap, we used to do it with both legs. We go like this and then switch legs and then switch legs and go like that.
Okay.
Right? So Beaver was nasty. But when Beaver was under us, he was a baby Zulu. Nice. Get it twisted. Nice. He's a baby Zulu. Baby Zulu.
Shout out to Beaver. I haven't seen him in 100 years.
They got a picture of him on one of the sites. The b-boy, 70s b-boy thing.
Okay.
As a grown man.
Oh yeah?
With a suit on and everything, yeah. And I look at Beaver all grown up. Yeah. But Beaver was a little dude, man. He was nasty. We had a bunch of baby Zulus. My namesake, Little Charlie Rock, Kyle Charlie Long. Little Charlie Rock.
Oh, it was a little Charlie Rock.
Yeah.
Wow.
Charlie Long, he's on Facebook.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Little Ring.
I got down straight up after BAM, Asbox Stadium in 81, 82 to take over the name and to keep it alive, and I still do it to this day. I will be a Zulu King for the rest of my life. Shout out to Beaver, who was my biggest influence back in the 70s. Beaver used to get down around my block. He used to play ball in the PAL. He was like the biggest name I ever heard of. I'll be honest, I never heard of like Spy and Cat. The name that echoed in my neighborhood, which is considered the Bronx River area, that same area, was Beaver. And when Beaver came out, there was no holding back. He was top dog, number one. That kid killed everybody, man. He was the nastiest cat. No one could hang with him, and for me to be a Zulu King was proud, even though I'm not worthy, but I'm happy to be down. And all my Zulu Kings out there, all my keys, all my queens, peace, I keep peace, queens, stay real and stay righteous, alright?
When I came in, because that's strictly b-boying. I wasn't confused when I started. I knew exactly what the fuck I wanted to do. And I saw Rocky in 78, 79, 80, because Kid Terrific, Marky D, rest in peace, Midnight Rockers from 82nd Street. It was groups like this that people rocked, and they stayed on top. And I could tell the dude was riding a horse, do the lasso, pull out a gun or a bow and arrow, I saw these things. But they weren't, I didn't feel like, yeah, I want to do that. When I saw breaking, I wanted to do that because I was a kid, and it was like a dare. Like, you ever play in the streets, like, yo.
The dance is called drops. The heart and soul of the dance really is the footwork. The footwork shows you a different stage, another different stage of the dance, which also allows you to be creative and gives an element of surprises. Okay?
Before we drop it on the floor, when we were dancing before that.
Oh yeah, that was before floormoves. Yeah, basically it was before you hit the floor. Now the floor, the burning came with it first, but then the floor move. That's like say you started adding to the repertoire of your dance.
Yeah, like the true b-boy thing is when the floor moves come in. But prior to that, kids, burning, you're dancing, you're doing all, and you might screw somebody's head off, kick you down the. It was about showing up the person, embarrassing the person. That's burning. But as we hit the floor, that's when the b-boys.
How long was burning and rocking before they hit the floor? Like how many years
burning
they was doing burning?
Very early 70s, late
Very
60s,
early
very early 70s. When I was like a kid.
Right.
Because I remember, we kids at the school dance,
Was that all over the city, or was that just a Bronx thing, burning?
I guess there were other parts of the city that were doing that.
Yeah?
Probably so. The b-boy thing, the floor, that's a Bronx thing.
Yeah.
Bronx.
Yeah. The b-boy, the real b-boy, come with Herc and the floor and everything. It's just like you had cats.
When people stayed on the floor. Breaking was not like, let me show you how classy my dancing is. Breaking was a radical, athletic, sporadic, go-off type of hardcore thing. Visually, footwork always stands out, like someone just running, going rapidly with fast-moving feet on the floor. That's what the main thing that reminds me of breaking. Not the spin. Those are the things that came later that I was like, yo, I gotta get that. But when I think about breaking, I think about just going the fuck off fast with footwork. Because that's what visually I'd never seen in my life. Thomas Flair and all that shit came later.
Yeah.
And I could say, oh, well, that's from the Olympics. But when I saw footwork, I said, I can't, I never seen that shit, you know. And it was not in a fucking gymnasium. It was in the concrete. It was in a park. So when you talk about dances prior,
I guess testimonials of b-boying or breaking, b-girling, what have you. And for those of you who don't know what that term is, it's a dance that typically starts up top with fancy footwork and winds up on the ground with a series of footworks and then a freeze maybe, or a spin, etc. That's what breaking is. So
I would say that if you choose not to do footwork, if you don't want to do it, I mean, if you do footwork and it sucks and it's whack, I mean, still peace, you're still doing footwork. I'll give you respect. I mean, everybody has to get better. But if you don't have a footwork in your vocabulary of what you do and there's no footwork, I don't really see that as, you know, having the ability to call yourself a b-boy or b-girl, because footwork is the core. To me, footwork is probably the most raw thing that happened first, was that spastic running around the body. That context of running around your body and twisting fast for one solo and then stopping never happened until, you know, the 70s. When that happened, that was a different way of approaching dance for the era, with the music and the fashion and everything that the 70s had. So that is the raw essence. Like, I remember seeing footwork and being, what the hell is that? I couldn't compare it to gymnastics. I couldn't compare it to anything that I've seen already on TV or in, you know, anywhere. I was like, that's crazy. So, but then I saw the moves, single moves, like a chair or, you know, and I was like, that shit is crazy too. I like that. But, you know, after watching it a few times and then hanging out with a couple of the fellas, you could see that you needed to have dope footwork. Like, your footwork had to be dope, because that's what set up all your moves, the footwork. So I say, you know, if your attitude is like you don't need footwork or you don't want to do footwork, you don't have a proper education. And if you don't have a proper education to understand the fundamentals, I don't think you should call yourself a b-boy or b-girl. I mean, it's part of the law. It's like, if you're going to learn an art form, learn the art form. If you're going to take one thing from the